What is going on, everybody? So for this video, we're going to be talking about the 3 best keys for nutrition. And the first key, and you're probably wondering, is how do I get all gold when tracking my macros and calories? And what do I mean by all gold? Well, if you have your custom macronutrient goals in and your calorie goals in, and you start tracking on MyFitnessPal, you're going to start to see that we use a color coding system. So as you're tracking with your calories and your macronutrients, if you are under your calories and macro goals, it's going to show up as blue on the app. If you are over your calorie and macronutrient goals for the day, it's going to show up as a red on the app. But if you are tracking your calorie and macronutrient goals for the day and it shows up as gold, that's what you want. And that is the objective of the program, is try to get all gold with your calories and your macronutrient goals. So as you start tracking throughout the week, you're going to start to see your data. And just for an example, for one day, let's say, you start tracking and you see you're low on carbs, you're over fats, and you're under calories. All right, just for an example. So what you have to do is take that data and make adjustments the next day, and as you keep going throughout the program. So let's just say, for an example, we have a day where you're tracking, let's say it's today, and you end up being 50 grams of carbs less than your goal, 25 grams of protein less than your actual protein goal, and everything else, fats and calories, it's gold. So you are low on your carbs and your protein. Well, we would look back, and if this happened to me, I would look back and be like, okay, for carbs, what can we incorporate the next day to get that up? For protein, what can we actually incorporate and consume the next day to get that up? So this is where you can go back to your DC Fit recipe book that I sent you and see the proper carbs, fats, and protein, and see what you can incorporate. So for example, let's just say, you can add some of these options, maybe some more white rice into your lunch, black beans into your dinner, quinoa, fruits and vegetables throughout your day to get 50 grams more of carbs the next day. You can choose from those options. I'm not saying have everything. You can choose from those options and see what actually gets you to 50 grams of carbs more, so you can actually get all gold. All right. To try and increase your protein intake, maybe you add a protein shake along with your breakfast, or maybe later at night, or maybe adding a little bit more chicken or ground beef to your lunch to get in that extra 25 grams of protein. All right. Does that make sense? And then the key is, when you have that first day of all gold macros, you can literally just replicate that day. All right. It's okay to have the same things over and over. I want to know, like, what did you actually eat that day? The serving sizes, the times, when did you eat? You should be replicating that day. And then when things get maybe a little bit boring, we can make substitutions. And how you substitute is by looking at your recipe book that I sent you and swapping out a protein for a protein, a carb for a carb, a fat for a fat. Maybe chicken for you is getting a little bit boring. You can go to ground beef or ground turkey. What I'm doing there is I'm substituting a protein for a protein. All right, maybe you've been having quinoa for a long time in your diet and it's been doing you good, but it's getting a little bit boring. Maybe you switch to jasmine rice. I'm substituting a carb for a carb. Maybe you've been having, too much avocado every day. You're getting a little bit sick of it, all right, which is mostly fat. And it's a good fat, though. All right, you substitute it for maybe more olive oil for dinner, and you just make that substitution. I'm substituting a fat for a fat. Maybe you have a little bit more peanut butter for lunch with a sandwich instead of having that avocado for dinner, and you make that substitution because peanut butter is a fat as well. So you can see we're just substituting a fat for a fat. So you could see how this gets fun, and you could play around with your diets to still meet your macro and calorie goals. And that's the beauty of us tracking our numbers, is you can literally play around with the data and hit gold every single day. All right. So that makes sense. That's the first key, getting all gold with your macros and calories. The next key for proper nutrition is the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule, because let's be honest, I'm going to teach you what this rule is, but let's be honest. All right. Well, you can meet your macros and calories by having McDonald's every single day. All right. But I want you to focus on the 80-20 rule. And what this means is focusing on 80% whole foods, which is lean meats, chicken, turkey bacon, ground beef, any type of fruit, any type of vegetable. You can boil down whole foods from anything grown from the ground or anything from an animal. That's really, if you boil it down, the definition. Whole foods, really keeping it natural. Anything that is grown from the ground or from an animal, it is natural. All right. And then the 20% of the 80-20 rule means 20% processed foods. This includes your pizza, burgers, alcohol, candy, the stuff that is manufactured in a factory and usually sold for long periods of time on the shelf. And listen, I still want you to enjoy yourself. I don't want you to be restrictive. So enjoy that 20% of your diet and then make the rest of your diet more whole foods focused. All right. Hope that makes sense. And the last key for keeping great nutrition is be prepared. All right. So please be sure to have these key items I'm about to list right now. All right. I would write this down. I'm going to take a couple seconds, get yourself ready, get a notepad, get a pen, pencil, whatever, write this down. All right. 1, plastic Tupperwares. It will definitely help you with preparing your meals, especially on the go. 2, plastic silverware. All right, that will definitely help you, obviously, on the go. 3, a food scale. 4, measuring cups. 5, tinfoil. And 6, a water jug. All right. All of these things will help you with tracking your macros, your calories, making sure you stay consistent, you're prepared, on the go meals that you can take to other places. This is definitely going to help you, and obviously getting your water in a water jug. All right. If you are like, Danny, I have some of this stuff, but where do I get the rest of this stuff? Literally message me, all right? Right after you watch these key essential videos, I will send you the best recommendations I have and the best options in terms of pricing, in terms of where you should find these items. I will definitely send your way. Okay, so in terms of the recommendations, I definitely got your back. All right, and that is it. Those are the keys. All right, how to be hitting all gold. Play around with your numbers and treat it like a game, and try to get good at hitting all gold and see what you need. If you're over protein, let's limit it back. If you're under carbs, we have to incorporate more. If you're over fats, what can we pull away? Maybe you're having too much peanut butter, too much avocado, too much olive oil, too much peanuts. Those are all fats. That's just an example, right? So see what you're kind of missing, see kind of what you're having too much of. And then once you get that day of all gold, you have permission to keep replicating what you're eating, the ingredients, the brands that you're using, the serving sizes, the times that you're eating. Stay consistent with that, and then substitute when things kind of get bored, all right, kind of get boring. Substitute a protein for a protein, a carb for a carb, a fat for a fat. That will definitely help you. All right. The next key is the 80-20 rule. 80% whole foods, lean meats, stuff grown from the ground or from an animal, making sure we have that portion of our diet really dialed in, whole foods, and then 20% processed. All right. This is the candy, the alcohol, the pizza. I still want you to enjoy yourself. So fit that in, that 20%. All right. And be prepared with all these key items: plastic Tupperwares, plastic silverware, a food scale to measure your food, measuring cups to measure your food, tin foil, and a water jug. And that is the key for your nutritional success. I hope this helps.